Hi, and welcome to part 2 of what your Halloween costume says about you in the language of tarot, 2023 edition. I'm Carly from Soundsight Studios in Austin, Texas. I've been a professional tarot reader for almost 10 years, and I'm going to walk you through my translation of your Halloween costume as tarot cards. Let's go. Elsa from Frozen. I'm gonna go with the Queen of Swords on this one. Because Elsa, she's the one that's in the ice castle, right? Okay, our Queen of Swords is famous for only showing us half of herself. And that is the logical half. For hundreds of years, it was written that this was the character in tarot that had been wronged, that had been hurt. It was like the wounded female archetype that then lashes out by being kind of cruel in their speech, and they close off the warmth that was coming from their heart before they were hurt. So I feel like with Elsa being gone from the kingdom and having to kind of live her own life and do her own thing, she kind of represents that part of the female archetype of surviving. But the modernized version of an understanding of this archetype as a woman who utilizes her power in a way not often associated with femininity. Her focus is not on nurturing others and taking care of them. It's on really harnessing and focusing her powers, even if other people think that it's cold or that it's very strategic and it's not as based around building community. So I'm gonna call her our Queen of Swords because she's perceived by others to be cold, but in fact, she's just a woman in control. Tony Stark from Iron Man. This is my least favorite of the Marvel superheroes. And I think it's because of the character's pompous attitude. And so we're gonna take this as the more toxic, annoying side of the magician. The magician represents an innovator, a creator, an inventor, which of course Tony Stark is, and we appreciate that. But at the same time, that can lead to a very large ego, or even a mad scientist, somebody who doesn't maybe think about the impacts of what it is that they're creating. So in this case, I would say Tony Stark, Iron Man, we're getting the confidence of an inventor and even the feeling that they're untouchable. So definitely magician energy. The good, the bad, the ugly, that's our Tony Stark. Ooh, Puss from Puss in Boots. That's a good costume. That's a good one. Okay, this is our Knight of Cups. This is that really romantic character that wants to sweep you off your feet. They might make a lot of promises. They might know exactly what to say to you. They can share poetry that melts your heart. And they have, dashing good looks. So I would say this is that romantic knight that comes into the rescue and really likes to portray that character. I often consider the Knight of Cups to be like Don Juan DeMarco, kind of just the famous heartthrob characters of literature past, and Puss in Boots completely falls into that category. So if you're going to dress up as Puss in Boots, go all the way, own it. Deliver compliments and charm the shoes off everyone you meet all night. Batman from The Batman. Okay. Because I can't get Robert Pattinson's face out of my head when he has all the eyeliner on. And I consider the Death card to be the drama queen of the deck. I am going to say this represents the Death card. Batman is a total shift in character, and he's somebody that wants to bring a big change to Gotham City. He wants to change the identity of the city. He also changes his identity entirely because he's one of those secret superheroes. We don't know who is Batman. So I'm going to put him down as the Death card, not only because of the meaning of the card, but also the portrayal of being typically overdramatic and intimidating to others. But that's all part of the appeal. Beth Harmon The Queen's Gambit. That's the main character? Ooh! Okay, yeah. She would be a cool Halloween costume. All right, if you're showing up as Beth Harmon, she was an orphan. I would say, even though the word queen is in the title, if you show up as Beth Harmon from The Queen's Gambit, I think that's the Page of Swords. Because it's really about a young person learning how to use her intellect and intelligence and experiencing the struggles that go along with that. She has this very active mind, and she turned to drugs and alcohol to sort of handle what she couldn't figure out on her own. And she also has that element of youthfulness where she's trying to do so much on her own, but in the end, it's the camaraderie of her friends that really help her pull through to full-on success, even though she had to fight and do so much by herself. And so I think she's in such a learning process throughout that season that she's our Page of Swords, and she represents it proudly. Alexander Hamilton. I have mixed feelings about this character only because of the real history of his story. But if we're looking at the pop culture representation of Hamilton on Broadway, I'm going to call him the Emperor. And I know that might not be what comes to mind for most people, but part of being the Emperor is about learning how to use your power. Learning what it means, learning what is too far, what supports the people around you, and what is aggression, learning how to stand up to power, standing up to those structures. And I think that we like watching the show because they love seeing somebody discover their power, utilize it, and then become a strong leader that can unite people. We want to believe that we're that type of hero. In tarot, for a while, the Emperor has been misaligned as a toxic person that uses too much power. But really, the best modern interpretation is that it's learning the Goldilocks amount of power, which is what Hamilton does in this story. So walk through that door with confidence in your Alexander Hamilton uniform, and have a nice strong posture all night long. Hopefully you know some of the songs. Oh, the Tiger King. I saved myself the trouble of watching that show, and I just listened to all my friends' commentary on it. And so from what I understand, this is one of those larger-than-life type characters that I would classify as a Knight of Wands. They're the type of character that will do and say things that might seem a little bit outrageous to others, and as a result, they get more attention and more press. They're not concerned about what people think about them. They want to be in the spotlight. They enjoy that. And in looking at his choice of hairstyle and patterned shirts, this character is not one to be subtle. So I would say he is a safe King of Wands if you're going to be him. Oh, I'm sorry, Knight of Wands. I would say this character is a complete Knight of Wands, and so don't hold back. Go all in when you're representing this guy. Ted Lasso. Oh man. Okay. Okay. I'm cheating on this one. Ted Lasso represents two characters. It is a mixture of the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Wands. In tarot, our kings and queens represent two different forms of leadership. Like two sides of a coin, each leader needs to have both of these qualities. Our queens will practice more than they preach, and they set an example. Our kings preach more than they practice, and this is also so important. Therefore, I would say Ted Lasso takes on the Queen of Pentacles' nurturing energy by being really kind to everybody, whether or not people see it. He lives the element of kindness that he preaches. And eventually it changes people's hearts, changes how they see themselves, and build relationships with people. So you see the impact of those actions ripple out through the people around him and the show. Then he's also absolutely the King of Wands, which represents him as a coach of a team. He can't go win those games himself. He has to instruct others on what the plans are. So our King of Wands is a character that's motivational and inspiring, can identify what makes people feel passion, and then they can feed that passion and get people working together as one. They're both such important forms of leadership, and I love that Ted Lasso can represent both well balanced and well combined. Princess Diana from The Crown. Ooh. Okay, I want to say this is our Queen of Cups. And we literally use Princess Diana as a reference in my tarot classes when we talk about the Queen of Cups. Because our queens, they practice more than preach. And Princess Diana was famous for being kind and being empathetic and really connecting to the people of England and the people that needed support from the government. She also was very open and transparent with how she was feeling when talking to news and media outlets. And so she felt like one of us. And that level of connection and that level of intuition and empathy and emotional intelligence and the ability to channel that in a way that made her so beloved by the people, that is definitely the Queen of Cups. And then she's the queen and not a different cup card, because she does have that ability to have power and to utilize it where people see her. She's in the throne, she's on the platform. And so she can have a big impact in the world. Her voice can really carry. So because she's such a huge figure in our pop culture, in our history, she is our Queen of Cups. Ooh, Jack from The Nightmare Before Christmas. All right, Jack from The Nightmare Before Christmas. This is going to sound a little bit strange, but I would equate him to the Eight of Wands. It's a character that is in motion. And so wands represent ambition and passion and a lust for life. The Eight of Wands specifically is about making motion forward even if we don't exactly know where it's going to take us. He didn't think too far ahead. He thought somewhat ahead, but he kind of only thought to the next year. He didn't think about long-term consequences for his actions. And I'm okay with that, because sometimes we just need to get in motion and we'll figure out things as we go. So he has that sort of ambition, that drive, that curiosity, that fire, but maybe not so much the long-term planning. And that certainly makes for a good story. Taylor Swift from the Eras Tour. That would be a really good Halloween costume. Yeah, okay. Taylor Swift on the Eras Tour, I would say, is the 10 of Cups. She is young, she is going after what she wants, and she's creating kind of a fantasy concert environment for people. She isn't challenging people that show up. She is the most saccharine pop star that people love to listen to. But if you love Taylor Swift, you love her typically. So I would say she creates these almost fantasy-like environments for her fans. I saw some of the pictures of the stadiums lit up with the rainbow colors that were attached to the wristbands. And it reminds me of how our 10 of Cups creates this all-encompassing environment of whatever our vision is, what we're feeling proud about, what we want in our lives. And I think she's creating that saccharine, beautiful vision for people to experience, even if it's only for a moment in her concert. And then she's also helping people walk back into that environment with the movie that's coming out. So it's definitely this really cool, like, full sensory experience. She's our 10 of Cups. Okay, next up, Janine from Abbott Elementary. Definitely the can-do energy of a Page of Pentacles. Somebody who's always trying to learn new things, always trying to be of service, very open mind, very engaged, very energetic. She's kind of a student herself, even though she's a teacher. She really acknowledges that she's only 2 years into teaching and she has so much to learn, but she's so passionate about the path. And so that is the can-do energy of the Page of Pentacles, who I typically would say is a student. So Janine, Page of Pentacles. Ooh, Mabel Mora, Only Murders in the Building. Ooh. Okay. Mabel Mora, Only Murders in the Building, I am actually going to say is the Three of Cups. Because watching the first season, she really loved her group of friends. You don't learn about that until the end. And so much of the pain she's going through is because she lost a group of friends that meant so much to her. And there's so much pain at the center of that loss. And then as the show goes on, she wants to connect to people, including her fellow podcasters. And she's consistently talking about how hard it is to connect, but how meaningful it is to her. And she's really trying to find her place and where she belongs. And so even though she's seeking that emotional fulfillment and she's seeking a new community, she finds it in these small moments, and she hurts because she has had it before and she treasures it. And so while she may seem a little bit intense or cold or highly intellectual at times or highly individualized, I think the core of why we see her as she is in the show is that she has a very big heart. And she's looking for people that she can trust who will take care of her. So she is our Three of Cups in my mind. Baby Yoda, the Mandalorian. Baby Yoda in the Mandalorian is just your Two of Cups, because his sole purpose is to make people go, oh, I love him, he's so cute. He's like that emotional connection. He's like the puppy dog, you know, he just makes you fall in love from what I've heard. And he's just there to kind of tug at the heartstrings and make sure everyone is like embracing his cuteness. And so I think it's kind of a test to see if you're a real human or not, because people cannot look at Baby Yoda and not feel a twinge of love towards him. I hope you got some new ideas for Halloween this year and learned something about tarot in the process. What do you think? Is there a tarot card that you think would be a better match for one of those costumes? Tell me in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe for more content like this, and follow me on my socials to stay in touch. Until next time, happy reading!